Welcome to Ecoholics. I welcome all of you on this particular platform, and here I will discuss about the strategy that will follow in the Indian Economic Service examination. Under this particular examination there are 6 papers. So first paper is related to general English, then we have general studies, and then we have general economics 1, general economics 2, general economics 3, and at last we have Indian economy. These two papers are carrying 100 marks each. These 4 papers are carrying 200 marks each, and the roundabout total is your 1000 marks, and plus your interview marks 200. The final total is your 1200. If you score around 400 to 500 in total, you will qualify this particular examination. So it is hardly or less than 50% of the marks. So it is very simple for this examination. We can easily crack this examination. Now what is the strategy and what we will follow in this particular course that we will discuss. Now first of all, I will cover all of your economics paper like general economics 1, general economics 2, general economics 3, and your Indian economy paper. Now under these papers there are certain heads and certain topics. Now if I divide this particular syllabus, this is divided under 66 heads. The second paper related to 68 heads. The third one is 46, and again the 68. So if you add these particular, you will come across the total of 248 topics. Now here 248 topics that will cover under the period of 6 months. That may be extended to 7 months in some cases. Now here this 6 months course, if you calculate the number of days under 6 months, is very simple. Here we can say that it will come around as 180 days. So under 180 days almost we can say that daily we will cover one topic. So this 180 days we will daily cover one topic, and somewhat whenever we have a big topic or the small topic, so we will adjust accordingly. So here these are 248 topics. Now how to prepare, how to start study. First of all, you should have your syllabus in your hand, and after syllabus you will have your question papers. Now these are the two important things that a UPSC gave to particular students. So this UPSC, Union Public Service Commission, that conducts the examination. So this gives only two things, that is your syllabus and the question paper. Now the first of all, you need to stick to these two important sources for qualify this examination. Now after having this strategy, we will first discuss the syllabus of general economics 1. Now under general economics 1, we have certain topics, we have certain heads that I've divided. Like first one, we have the theory of consumer demand. So the first head is your theory of consumer demand. Now under this theory of consumer demand, we have cardinal utility, marginal utility, will relate with consumer surplus, indifference curve, like utility function, price income and substitution effects, Slutsky theorem, derivation, their revealed preference theory. So they're like duality, indirect utility function, expenditure function, like choices under risk, uncertainty, simple games of complete information. So game theory is also the part of this head. Now the concept of Nash equilibrium is also the part of general economics 1, part 1. After that we have the theory of production. Now under theory of production we will understand from the production perspective. It means from the firm's perspective. So all the factors of production, like production function, like other forms of production function like Cobb Douglas, like CES production function, translog production function, laws of returns. So all the returns to scale, like increasing return, decreasing return, or the constant returns. Like we'll discuss duality and cost function also. Like we'll discuss measures of productive efficiency of the firm, technical allocative efficiency, partial versus general equilibrium approach, or equilibrium of the firm or the industry. So we will see, or we will understand what are the important factors on the theory of production. The third one is your theory of value. Now, under theory of value, we have pricing under different market structures. So we will discuss monopoly, perfect competition. We have monopolistic competition like oligopoly, duopoly, etc. So we will all understand the theory of a value, like peak load pricing, marginal cost pricing, cross subsidization, Marshallian and Wallerician stability analysis. So we will understand how to approach these type of questions and how to write answers in the examination. The next one, we can say the fourth one, is your theory of a distribution. So theory of distribution. So under theory of distribution, we have neoclassical distribution theories like marginal productivity theory. Also we have Euler's theorem, we have monopoly, bilateral monopoly, we have some macro distribution theories given by Ricardo Marx, Keldor, and Michael Kaleski. So these are the vital information for the paper 1 of Indian Economic Services. And the fifth one is your welfare economics. Now under welfare economics, we have like interpersonal comparison, aggregation problem, like public goods, externalities, divergence between social and private welfare, compensation principle. We will understand Pareto optimality. We will understand social choice and other recent in schools, like related to course, related to AK Sen. So welfare economics plays an important part in general economics 1. You may expect questions every year from this. Now next is your mathematical methods in economics. So here the term is in economics, so you have to understand some concepts like differentiation, integration, but their application in economics only, like optimization techniques like set theory, matrices, linear algebra, linear programming, or input-output model given by Wesley Leontief. So this, we can say, the important factor of this mathematical methods. So do not go into mathematical concepts, go only the concepts given in the syllabus that is in relation with the economics only. Now we have the last one is your statistical and econometric. Statistical and econometric method, like we have in the statistic like central tendency, dispersion, correlation, regression, time series, index number. Like we have ANOVA, we will have factor analysis, we have price component analysis. All these things under come statistics. And econometrics under we have least square method, multivariate analysis. So here we have linear, non-linear function, etc. Another thing is related like income distributions. So we have Pareto law of distribution, log normal distribution, measurement of income inequality, Lorentz curve, like Gini coefficient. Like under econometrics, we have autocorrelation, multicollinearity, heteroscedasticity, and these types of terms we will actually get across in the General Economics 1 paper. In General Economics second paper, we have first is your related to economic thought. So under economic thought, we have mercantilism, we have physiocrats, we have classical, we have a Marxist, we have neoclassical, Keynesian, monetarist. So all the economic thought are vital, and you can fetch many marks from this. you may expect one or two question every year in the question paper. So economic thought you cannot be ignored. Second is your related to concepts related to national income and accounting. So these concepts like measurement of national income, every year they ask question about how to measure this particular concept of national income, like interrelationship between the three important methods of national income, like expenditure method, like output method, and like we have income method. So all other things like green national income, so how the GDP growth is affecting the environment, like environmental considerations related to GDP. So here we need to understand and very carefully about the national income. The third one is your theory of employment. So theory of employment. So theory of employment, output, like inflation, money and finances. So all the important macroeconomic theory, like we have classical theory, Keynesian theory, new classical, we have post Keynesian, we have inflation like Phillips curves, like quantity theory of money, like Friedman theory, neutrality of money, like ISLM model. Related to Keynes, we have demand for money, ADAS model, that is aggregate demand and aggregate supply model of John Maynard Keynes. So this is also one of the vital factor and important subtopic of general economics, paper 2. Under the fourth one, we have financial and capital market. So under financial and capital market, we have like stock market, other types of market like gift market, like insurance, banking, like we have equity markets, like what are the role of derivatives, futures, options, like primary and secondary market and their efficiency. Another vital topic. The fifth one is your economic growth and development. So growth and development, another vital factor related to the paper 2 of this examination. So here we can say that paper 2 is considering two important theory, that is macroeconomic theory and the growth and development. So here economic growth development, their measurement related to LDCs. So all we have the economic theories like classical theory, neoclassical theory of Adam Smith, Marx, Schumpeter, neoclassical theory of Solow, Kaldor, like other theories like we have Knox, Hirschman, Libenstein, Arthur Lewis. These are the things. We have utilitarian welfarist approach. We are related to some UNDP concepts like HDI, like MPI, endogenous growth theory. We'll discuss Amartya Sen contribution. This completes the discussion of growth and development. Next one is your international economics. Under international economics, we have simple, these are trade theories. So what are the gains from the trade, like trade theories related to Haberler, Ricardo. We start with Adam Smith's absolute advantage and Stolper, Samuelson. So all these things. Other, like we have global financial crisis of 2008 that started in America. We have Eurozone crisis of 2011 that started in PIGS countries. So PIGS countries like PIIGS, Portugal, Italy, Ireland, Greece and Spain. So they're triggered in the southern European countries. Apart from this, we have terms of trade policies. We have ASEAN crisis of 1998 also. The next one is your seventh one, that is balance of payments. Under balance of payments, so the first one is the disequilibrium. Another important is disequilibrium, like exchange rates, like import and export. There's another model known as Flaming-Mundell model of we can say the extension of ISLM to BOP. That also the part of this, like how to adjust the mechanism adjustment of balance of payment. That we'll see under the seventh one. The next head is your global institutions. So under global institutions, we have like UN agencies, so dealing with economic aspects, like World Bank, IMF, like WTO, like multinational corporation, G20, All these global institutions are also the part of this. So under this we can say the three important modules are 3, 5 and 6. Next we move on to general economics paper 3. A small paper we can say, but the depth or the in-depth analysis requires is same as the other two papers that we had discussed till this point. First is related to public finance or public economics. So in examination in IES it is written as public finance. So here under public finance we will discuss the concepts of theories like optimal taxation, like expenditure theory, incidence of taxation, like we have budgetary deficits. All the deficits are again very vital for the examination purpose. We have social rate of discount, social cost benefit, like theory of public debt management, how debt management happens in an economy, like foreign exchange, etc. also comes under public finance. The second one is related to environmental economics. So here somewhat environmental part will come in, like green GDP, like a Rio process, that is Earth Summit, like environmentally sustainable development, how we can achieve it. The role of the United Nations will also come into the picture, like other values, how to value the particular effect on the environment, like pollution taxes, pollution permits. These are the important things, like theories of exhaustible and renewable resources, other somewhat international protocols like UNFCCC, Bali Convention, like we have Kyoto Protocol, like we have carbon tax, we have concepts like green climate fund, we have climate change finance, how to finance this particular thing. It's a responsibility of all the countries living on this particular planet. Like we have carbon market and their market mechanism. So another very vital, which can move your paper, which can move this particular paper into your favor. Next, the third one is industrial economics. So under industrial economics we have market structure, like how to control this market structure of industrial economics. We have certain different types of product differentiation, like market concentration, monopolistic price theories, like micro level investments, oligopolistic R&D and innovations. So these are the important things related to industries in this particular paper. The last is the fourth one, that is related to state. Here state means the government. The second one is your market, and the third one is your planning. How this particular model is interrelated among these three things, like planning in a developing country, because India is a developing country, so from its perspective, like planning, regulation and market, like indicative decentralized planning. So be careful about the words of types of planning, so they can ask about the questions related to types of planning. At last we will come on to the Indian economy paper. Indian economy paper is the fourth paper of economics and the sixth paper in total. So here first we'll discuss about the history of development. So history of development planning in India. So we'll see about self-reliance, import substitution, all these fiscal reforms, financial sector reforms related to globalization strategies, trade reforms. All this historical perspective of Indian economy will understand this. Now the second is your federal finance. Federal is a form of government that India is having, so all the constitutional provisions will come here, and the formula of sharing the what we call the net receipts or proceeds, and how are the finance commissions are working, what are the aspects of Sarkariya Commission report, like financial aspects after 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Act that established panchayat and municipalities. The third one is your budgeting. There is budgeting and fiscal policy. So under budgeting, like we have budget means the expenditure and revenue. So all the taxes, all the expenditures like capital revenue expenditure, like we have budgetary deficits, pension, fiscal reforms, public debt, FRBM Act, like black money, parallel economy that we'll discuss its definition, estimates, genesis, and how we can actually remove the black money from the country. The fourth one is related to society, that is poverty, unemployment, and human development. So it is related like estimates of inequality, like poverty measures, poverty line, like Dandekar Rath Committee, we have Alga Committee, we have Tendulkar Committee, we have Rangarajan Committee. Like we discuss India's human development record in global perspective, so given by UNDP, like India's population policy development, or the appraisal of the government measure that we will also discuss. The fifth one, an important module. The fifth one is your related to agriculture sector and rural development strategies. Like agriculture, we have land reforms, we have land relation. Under rural development, we have rural credit, we have modern farm inputs, we have marketing and price policy. So we'll discuss agriculture backward linkages as well as the forward linkages, like commercialization and diversification of the crops. Under this, we'll have certain poverty alleviation programs. So we'll see that employment guarantee schemes, etc. We'll discuss the role of technology and the institutions. So here, this particular module also plays an important role regarding important questions. And the sixth one is India's experience with urbanization and migration. Because at the time of independence, as three-fourth or 74.2% of the population was dependent on agriculture sector, and now this population is moving towards a non-farm activity from the farm activity. So what are the India's experience, like what is the urban development strategies? Because in urban areas people are coming from the interior or the rural areas, so how these urban cities can cope up the pressure of excess population, so that is related to migration. Other like urban settlements, like we'll discuss certain schemes related to housing for all, like Amrut, Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation. So these are the things we'll discuss under this India's experience with the urbanization and the migration. Seventh one is your related to industry. So like strategy of industrial development, so industrial policy reforms starting with 1948 to 1991, and recently India is expected to have industrial policy. Now role of foreign capital, like fund direct investment, like portfolio investment, like in under industry we have privatization and disinvestment. So under it we have certain reservation policy in the past, we have MRTP Act, we have Competition Act. So we'll discuss all these things under industry. The eighth one is related to labor. Important, very very important in the current scenario, like employment and unemployment, underemployment. We have labor market, informal sector also working towards this. We have certain issues regarding labor, is child labor, bonded labor. So what are the opinion of International Labor Organization, what government can do about labor welfare, what is the strategy for their employment generation from the government's perspective. So these are the vital things to keep in the labor module. Next is your foreign trade. Under foreign trade, India's salient features will discuss like competition policies, like sources of industrial finance, recent changes in the trade policy, tariff policy. Like recently, there was a problem with the steel, cheap imports of steel coming from the eastern part of the Asian continent, that is South Korea and Japan. So we'll see that what are the important factors that India took in order to remove these kind of cheap imports to India. We have another bilateral trade agreement like RCEP, etc. We'll discuss that, like India's and WTO requirements, exchange rate, sources of industrial finance, etc. We will see under the foreign trade of this. The 10th one is related to money and banking. So under money and banking, we'll discuss like financial sector reforms, organization of India's money market, like changing roles of Reserve Bank of India, commercial bank, DFIs, foreign banks, NBFIs. So Indian capital market, we'll discuss SEBI also. We'll discuss role of forward market commission under commodity market. We'll discuss spot market. We'll discuss future markets. So etc. are very vital for the examination purpose. The 11th one is your inflation. Very important topic, inflation. So all these definitions like trends estimation, like how to remove inflation, remedies, like we'll discuss WPI and CPI, that two methods. India follow this, so WPI and CPI. So we'll see all these things. So this is how we will start and we will finish our 6 months journey, and under that we can actually discuss each and every topics as well as subtopics. So start gradually so that if you are not from the economics background, you will understand very carefully about all these lectures. Under these lectures, we can say that if you have any doubt, you can contact on my WhatsApp number. Although in afternoon or in morning evening I'm taking classes in UPSC for UPSC IAS General Studies, so I may be busy. If I'll not be able to pick up your call, you just drop a message, then I'll call you back as soon as possible. I hope you understand the structure or the outline, or what we can say the blueprint of Indian Economic Service course. And if you have any query regarding this, you can ask on this number. Okay, have a nice day. Thank you so much.